I am fascinated by God's personal relationship, if there's a God, with time. Not just what time is, but God's personal. Does God have a history? Why didn't God create the world sooner? Is God going to get bored just living forever? I mean, there's so much happening when you think about God and time.
Yes, I think it's a fascinating topic. Ever since I became a Christian, I've been baffled and intrigued by God's relationship to time. One of the most difficult questions, I think, is if God is timeless, then how could he be active in the temporal world? And particularly, how could he become incarnate in the person of Jesus of Nazareth, the way Christians believed? The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard said that this is the absurd, that the eternal and the timeless should enter into history. Well, I had a flirtation with Kierkegaardian existentialism for a while, but my mind couldn't rest in that. And so I thought there has to be a rational explanation of God's relationship to time. And so this has been one of the major foci of my research.
What are some of the implications, without discussing what God is, but what are the implications of it?
Well, one question would be, as you say, the personhood of God. Does it make sense to talk about a timeless person? And if so, how should we conceive the life of God? Another question would be whether or not God is able to be active in the world, or is he so removed from it that he doesn't really get involved in our temporal lives if he's timeless? Another question would be whether or not time would affect God's life. Does God have all the life that he has in a timeless moment, or is God's life distributed over time the way ours is? Does God have a future, so to speak?
Well, and that would mean that if God had a past, there are things to God that no longer are real.
They
may be a memory, they may be a perfect memory. In every respect, God's memory is better than mine, it wouldn't take much. But they're no longer real. God's lost it.
Yes, that's right. And on the other hand, if you think about the evils and the atrocities that have existed in human history, if there isn't a passage of time that is real, then that means, in a sense, those things still exist. They're still equally real, and evil is never really overcome on this view of reality that says things are timelessly or tenselessly existing.
So, do we have a bimodal choice, one or the other? Either God is in time or God is outside time.
I do think that it is a choice of that sort, Robert, because these are contradictories. To be in time is to have a temporal location and a temporal extension. And to be timeless is simply to have no temporal location or extension. So these are contradictories. They cannot both be true. So you've got to choose between timelessness and temporality.
And there's no other possibility.
The only other way you could put them together would be to qualify these in some way. For example, we can say that something can be both black and not black if it's black at one time but not black at a later time. Or maybe it's black on one side but not black on the other side. You've got to qualify it. So if you want to say God is both timeless and temporal, you've got to qualify it some way, or that's just a blanket contradiction that cannot be true.
Yeah. Now, what are the implications? If God were timeless, does that mean there's no sequence of events?
Well, I am persuaded that the timelessness or temporality of God will stand or fall on which view you adopt of the nature of time itself. I think that how you view God's relationship to time will depend upon what you think time is like. And philosophers have distinguished two very different views of time. One is a dynamic view of time that says that past, present, and future are objective, and that the past is gone, the future is merely potential, only the present is real. The other view of time says that all moments and events in time are equally real, and temporal becoming is just an illusion of human consciousness. Now, those are very different views of time, and I think that how you conceive of time will radically and fundamentally determine how you view God's eternity and his relationship to time.
Does that make God dependent upon the nature of time?
No, I think it would merely mean that if God has chosen to create a tensed universe, if he has chosen to create a tensed time or a
with a
dynamic
past
time,
that's no longer here and a future yet to come.
then that will affect how he exists as well. Whereas if there is a tenseless reality, this sort of static view of reality, then that will not affect God in his eternity. In other words, what I would want to say is that if you want to have a timeless view of God, where God is absolutely timeless, then I think you need to go with this tenseless view that sees time as just a part of a four-dimensional block, just an internal dimension of this four-dimensional space-time block, and God exists outside the block, and he sustains the block in being.
And can see or interact with any point in this block.
Exactly.
And any point in this block has a time component to it.
That's right. And God exists outside the block of space-time, and therefore timelessly, and sustains tenseless causal relations to everything that's in the block.
Does that mean, though, in God's own internal mental life, if we can say that, that there are no sequence of events, nothing before or after in God's own internal?
That would imply that. A timeless God would be a God who experiences no past, present, and future, no earlier and later. He would know of things in the block that they are earlier and later than each other. But for God, the whole block would just be there in a single timeless moment, as it were.
And how does God then process? We think of processes has to be sequences, and sequences seem to have to be in time. So it would seem like God is like a granite block.
Well, I think that's correct. On this view of time, everything is static. Change just means that earlier points in the block are different from later points in the block. But they're both equally real. The change in time on this view is no different than, say, the change in space from one point in space to another. There is no process on this view.
I'm trying to get at God's own life. I see the block, and the
Okay.
block is everything God created. God created that block because God created everything according to your view. So God created this four-dimensional block in this timeless view of God. But my struggle is, what does that mean for God's own internal mental life?
It would mean that God has a single state of consciousness that never changes. He just knows all tenseless truths about himself, reality, the block, and nothing ever changes.
All in this one tenseless moment.
Yes.
It's
And so it is, as you say, kind of frozen. It's everything is just sort of frozen in timelessness.
Now, what do we know from that? Is there some benefits to that? I mean, in one sense,
Well, very few, I think. I don't accept this view of reality. But benefits, it would enable you to explain very easily how God knows the future. Because what is future for us,
see a point.
yeah, it's already out there, so he just looks and sees it, so to speak. So it would be very easy to explain how God knows the future on this view. But apart from that, I think that this view is just filled with philosophical and theological problems that render it implausible.
One of the arguments for it is that if God is in time, God is losing experience. There's things that will have happened that are forever lost.
Yes. Well, let's talk about the other view, because we haven't really spoken of it. If you have a dynamic theory of time, where things are coming into being and passing away, then God, as the creator and sustainer of the world, must bring things into being and sustain them in being as long as they exist, and then they pass out of being. So God himself would be in process and would be constantly creatively active in bringing things into being. And he would also know things as they come to be and pass away. So his knowledge would constantly be changing. He would know, I am now delivering Israel out of Egypt. I am now parting the Red Sea. I am now bringing them into the Promised Land, for example.
Okay, if God is in time and continuing to create, continuing to improve, because God is good to do those kinds of things, doesn't that mean that there's an imperfection here, that if God is getting better, that means at some point he was not as good as he could be?
Well, I wouldn't agree that being in time implies that God is continuing to improve. Something can be at absolute perfection and change not, so to speak, vertically on the scale of perfection, but change horizontally in being in different states of perfection. So, for example, suppose God knows at one moment it's 3 o'clock, and at the next moment he knows it's 3:01. I don't think that change is any improvement in God whatsoever, nor does it show that God was imperfect when he knew it was 3 o'clock instead of 3:01. On the contrary, it's a mark of his perfection that he always knows accurately what time it is. So I would see any changes in God that transpire as a result of being in time as not being improvements or growing in perfection, but it would be an expression of his cognitive perfection, that he would always know the tensed truths that are true at any time, and therefore would always know what time it is, and he would never believe any false propositions.